Indirect sunlight is defined as filtered light, reflected light, or any light that goes through a barrier before reaching the plant. Although plants that thrive in indirect light have some of the lowest light demands, they still need access to bright light for healthy growth. But be careful. Too much bright light will scorch their leaves. Tree leaves, north-facing windows, tinted window panes, and sheer curtains block sunlight and deliver indirect light to plants. You can also create indirect lighting conditions indoors by keeping a potted plant near east or west-facing windows, set back from a south-facing window, or by adding grow lights to a dark corner. Just make sure they are only on for a few hours each day. Many popular potted and garden plants require indirect sun. These include bird's nest fern, philodendron, calathea, most palms, orchids, English ivy, snake plants, and dozens more. In general, if you purchase a plant labeled low light or partial shade, it will do well in indirect light. You might notice that indirect sunlight plants have many traits in common. They tend to have large leaves that are well suited for capturing any available sunlight. Most also thrive in moist environments, as their soil dries out slowly after rain. They rarely produce large or showy flowers and instead put their energy into leaf production. In nature, you can find indirect sunlight-loving plants growing under trees, especially under tall rainforest canopies. They do best in spaces where the lighting levels change over the day, meaning that they might get strong direct light in the mornings or evenings. It's usually easy to tell if an indirect sunlight plant is doing well. The leaves will be a vibrant green and free of blemishes, and you will see new leaf buds forming and other signs of growth. There are many ways to tell if the plant isn't getting enough light. Pale, yellowing leaves and tall, leady stems indicate a lack of direct light. If you see these symptoms, move the plant somewhere with more daily light exposure or put it under a grow light turned on for a few hours each day. An automatic timer will make this process easy. In contrast, a plant that's getting too much sunlight may develop bleached leaves with burnt spots. They can also shrivel up from a lack of moisture. At the sign of sun damage, move the plant away from the light source or find a way to filter it to reduce the intensity. This may involve putting up a shade cloth in the garden or setting up a sheer curtain over a window. Just make sure you don't overcorrect the problem and prevent the plant from accessing bright sunlight altogether. Finally, keep in mind that light exposure is only one factor that affects how well your plants will grow. Ambient temperature and water levels will make just as much of a difference for plant health, and they even affect how much light a plant can handle. For example, plants can handle more sunlight on cool days when they have lots of water, while they will wilt fast on hot days with minimal water, even if they only get indirect sunlight. Pay attention to these factors, and you can take steps to keep your indirect sunlight plants as healthy as possible.